In the desire for adventure, I returned to what I love doing the most: four-wheeling, bush exploration and camping. With the final upgrade suspension installed to the Troopy, we find ourselves in the Perth Hills giving it a proper trial, a proper test drive before its 10-day journey through remote and rugged terrain. This entire remote 10-day expedition hinges on this test drive, this trial, working out.
We're in the Perth Hills, pretty big area. I know this area quite well, but we're going to find some tracks along the way to give this thing a proper test. Now, we did a few early tests this morning on the Powerline track just to really test the flex out, and so far so happy. I'm also in company with Trav from PDP, my mechanic for over 10 years and good friend, right behind me in the 200 series. Trav, how long has it been since last, mate?
Too long, mate, too long.
Hey, did you have the 200 out last time, or was that the 79?
Oh, I reckon it was a 79 Dirk Hartog we did. I reckon it was, yeah, definitely 79.
Man, that's just too long ago, eh?
Yeah, there's been a few trips in between for you.
Yeah, not enough though. Been bloody working on this thing for like way too long.
Well, it's looking the part now.
High tower.
Yes, definitely.
Right, Trav, time to air down.
Anticipation and excitement. It starts when I leave my driveway. The second stage is on my way to my destination, and the third stage, which most four-wheel drivers can relate to, is airing down. It's the last step before you're hitting the tracks.
To complement the lift, we've gone with the same size tyres on the 79. So we got the 315 75 R16s. Yep, mud terrain again. Gonna go down to 24 PSI. That's generally what I do out here, and I reckon it'll be perfect for what we're about to do today. Not too low, not too high. The hub's are already locked because we hit the gravel.
Just gonna run 22 PSI on the front and 24 on the rear. Just dumped out 30 pound out of the airbag, so they're at 10 at the moment. We may need to let them down a bit more. We'll see what happens.
Something new you haven't seen yet, because I only just built it on the weekend, my air box. So we got the plug-in kit right here, the indiflate, the hose for the double compressor, the switch here, which is isolated from the TVSM as well. I've even got a wheel brace in here as well, so I can check my wheel nuts. And my pegs and the awning stuff. So everything's kind of like it's kind of like a tyre shop in here without tyres.
I know this area very well, but it's always good to show your travel companions the route you're going to take, so they have a rough indication of where you're going. But I'm not telling him everything that we're doing. No, that's a surprise. Suspension being the last piece of the puzzle finally done, I went for the budget option. More on this at the end of our travels.
You enjoying the light show on the trees in front of you? It's pretty epic, eh?
Yeah, mate, it's pretty amazing through here.
Yeah, these are all the Wandus. Like when that light hits them, it's just something else.
I've just noticed one other thing too. The shadows from your car are getting longer.
That's a given, mate. The crickets were chirping while we were airing down, so, you know, that's not a good sign.
Yes, I know.
Mate, just a warning, it's going to get a little bit scratchy coming up.
Yeah, we were just talking about scratches. Funny you mentioned that, actually.
Yeah, there's no rhino hide on this beast, so I hear everything. It's like a tin can.
This is true, and I know I'm full driving with you because the car's getting scratches because we're going down goat tracks.
Yeah, about goat tracks, there's the reason why we're going down this scratchy track. I've got a bit of a test for the Troopy, but it's also going to be a little bit of a test for the 200. Bit of a climb.
So all I'm hearing there is might have to chuck the lockers in.
200, doesn't it have really good crawl control or whatever it is?
Yeah, it does. The only problem is I found once you get hung up, it's probably a bit like all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you know? You just got more capability.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Trav, here's the climb I'm talking about. Probably want to walk it, and guess what? Because the camera cars in front of us, they have to go up first. So we'll see how the FJ goes. Your time to shine, Jono. What did you say? Test the Land Cruiser out.
Yeah.
Mate, it's a cruiser, not a Land Cruiser. This is an ongoing thing we got here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the cruiser can do.
Sure, I'll send the Land Cruiser up first. Nervous? Nah.
200, doesn't it have really good crawl control or whatever it is? Yeah, it does. The only problem is I found once you get hung up, it's probably a bit like all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you know? You just got more capability.
Yeah.
There he goes, sliding straight into the ruts, but with the assist of A-Track, sails it out. Almost like a Land Cruiser, but more like a cruiser.
It's going to be embarrassing if I have trouble with the clearance for that tree, because the FJ just walked that one up. Talked it up too much. I know you can hear me, Jono. Here we go. Now I'm just going to plonk it in the hole, and then we'll see how close we get to that tree, because I kind of want to know. I'm just actually a bit worried about the box on the back, on the roof rack, how close that's going to get to it. Right, Trav's waving me forward, says I'm good. So we'll keep going forward. Am I worried about this climb? Not really, because earlier today we did a proper flex test. Alright, so he's told me to stop in the worst spot possible. I was starting to slip, so I've just engaged the front locker. Easy as that, and that's why I love front rear lockers. Oh, window up, power push. Oh, listen to that horrible screech.
Having a roof conversion does make the Troopy creak and groan when you're really flexing and you're stretching it out. However, it's nothing to be concerned about.
Levels out, this feels really nice. Handles the weight really well, and having those lockers is just so awesome. Can't find a grinder. I do need to put an isolation switch for the lockers because they're so easy to knock the switches and then they just stay in. Doesn't matter if you're in two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it's just going to activate. So it's kind of a bit of a danger for my driveline. I've got to sort that out.
It's time for Trav to take the 200 up on what I would call the warm-up hill. The next hill coming up will raise the challenge by quite a few notches.
Mate, wait till you see this valley, and I think we got here the best time of the day.
Yeah, from what I can see here, it looks pretty epic.
On the other side of this is that beast hill I was telling you about.
Are we going to get to that one in daylight, or is that a nighttime hill?
Mate, I could almost throw a rock at it from here, so it'll be daylight. Unless the 200 can't make it there.
You're entertaining me, mate. I've heard this. Yeah, no, we'll be there before dark.
At least you're used to, you're used to this, so I'm not going to disappoint you if you end up in the dark.
History does repeat itself, mate.
Yeah, well, at least it won't be like a first timer travelling with me and then end up in camp in the dark. It upsets a few people sometimes.
I never actually appreciated 2-minute noodles until I started camping with you, because literally you want dinner in 2 minutes when you're rolling at midnight.
Just a heads up, I'm in the wrong gear for this at the moment. I went to second gear low too early, but the torque seems to be holding it pretty well.
I must say, I'm liking the auto life. It's pretty good.
That tune held up well in second gear low, I've got to say though.
I suppose it's a bit of a different now. You got the tune and you got the tyres, so it's all just trying to pick your gear and your revs and work out. It's all like a new car.
Yeah, that's it.
Does it go back down or does it go up?
Goes up.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Do you know what I call this hill? I call this 79 series hill because I've done it so many times.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'll be able to judge the Troopy quite a bit by this climb.
Yeah, I'm just more looking at all the loose, scaly surface rock. It's sort of all over the place, isn't it?
It's pretty steep. It's hard to show that on camera though, eh? You come around there and then you got to go in between there. It's the waterline.
Pretty epic.
Enough chatting, more driving.
Coming up. This first section. Looks worse from inside the vehicle, eh? Rear locker in now. Feels good so far.
Crawling up, mate. Bit of wheel lift there.
Did it?
Just first gear, eh, all the way?
Yeah, first gear, rear locker.
Did well, did well. No, you just got one little bit of wheel lift down, no, just steam through it.
Yeah, it felt really good, eh? That's awesome.
You probably didn't even really have to touch the accelerator much, did you?
Nah, I just rested my foot on it. I'll come have a look at you going up in the 200.
Feels steep once you drive it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely different. The only thing, obviously, the 200 versus 70, you just don't have the visual, I reckon, eh?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I might just chuck the front locker in. definitely feel that in the undercarriage.
Just come back like a foot. Okay, hold on there, I'll pack our rock up.
What's it hung up on? Lower control arm on the rear?
No, it's just a diff.
Yeah, okay.
Just like a rock perfectly placed on the diff.
Time for more lift, eh?
Question is, can I get that fast slider? Oh, I found a hole.
Keep going. Yeah, perfect placement. You can see the view from up here, it's pretty epic, eh?
It gets better. Hey, you know where your wheels started sliding? I didn't really pick up on it, but you actually diffed out beforehand on like 2 rocks, and then that next one stopped you in your tracks.
So it was a pretty fair effort, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, these next sections are definitely one vehicle at a time. Rear locker. Oh, now I've got to climb this log. Here we go. One wheel up. Straddling the rock. Got to keep it straight, otherwise the rear's going to drop in. Troopy loves it. Nice. Good wheel lift there. It's like it's just sailing. This is so cool.
I think you picked the hardest lines too, didn't you?
I've got to put it to the test.
No, it's making light work of it though, it's doing well.
I love this wheelbase, eh? I feel a lot more at ease, even though I'm probably a lot more top heavier than the 79.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Definitely, yeah, that's my question here. It's still top heavier, but it doesn't look it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, when you got a tray on a 79, like your water tanks and stuff are actually up pretty high, aren't they?
Yeah, that was going to be exactly what I was going to say next. The tanks are very low.
Just watch your passenger side, a little bit more right hand. Yeah. Back's about to climb. Oh, it's getting around rocks, it's all good.
If you've ever sat behind the bonnet of the 200 series, you'll note that it's quite difficult to see over that bonnet. Plus the fact that the ground clearance is slightly less than what I have on the Troopy. That being the case, I'm providing Trav with some much needed spotting. You may have been wondering from the beginning, is the Troopy too tall now? The answer is not really, but yes, sometimes.
Oh, yeah, go forward a little bit. Yeah, keep going.
In Aussie words, yeah, nah.
I've got my lights on outside, all on, including the party lights. And I put even those lights on as well. They're kind of distracting though, so I'll turn those off. Just everything's at my fingertips, eh?
Hey Ronny, you know how we've been driving all day and now it's night. Do you reckon we're going to get to camp soon, mate, or we've got a few hours still in it?
Well, cool fact, mate. We are actually at camp right now.
Oh, we can light the fire the fun way or the easy way. We've got a fun way. I know Trav's pretty cold, he's probably going to frown on me doing it this way. Oh, disappointing, didn't get on the first one.
Hey Ronnie, you know the other day I questioned about those Rock 9s.
Yeah.
What's your opinion now in the dark with camp?
That all depends on what you're going to use the car for, I reckon. Because camp lights, Rock 9s, better than Rock 20s. But driving on the track, I noticed you had so much more light out the side than I did.
Yeah.
But then you were talking about you don't really use it at night driving, you use it more for setting up. Whereas I use it more for driving. So I reckon it comes down to whatever you want to do. But I reckon it's better at camp than 9s.
Yep.
Because that 20 is blasting me.
What are you cooking, mate?
Depends what you're bringing me to drink.
I'll get that happening real quick.
All right, well in that case, we're going to have
What do we got?
a bit of this and a bit of that. Skewers, we're having beef and capsicum and pineapple pork skewers.
Oh yeah, bit of colour, bit of flavour.
And some glazes too.
Yeah, nice. All right, I'll get the drinks. Getting onto it.
If you're wondering why I'm sharpening chopsticks, it's because I left the skewers at home.
So did you end up putting in that one?
Okay, so there's two glazes. The one I'm holding is the Sriracha lime and honey glaze. The only problem is the honey's so cold, I have to really stir it. And this other one is a mustard, honey and lemon glaze with a lot of black pepper, as you can see. I figured the honey will go with the pork, the Sriracha will go with beef. I reckon this will be a killer meal.
It's gonna smell like Ronny's kebab shop in the rooftop tent, mate.
Yeah, I know, lucky we're cooking something tasty.
Yeah, I know. You're not gonna be hungry. How we going, Captain?
Well, it's time to taste test. Here you go, here's one of those. There's the pork. We'll start with the pork.
Yeah.
That mustard glaze is awesome.
Pineapple hits the mark though, doesn't it?
So it's sweet and savoury. I like it. Let's try this one real quick. Sriracha.
I'm one mouthful into this.
That's good.
I'm going for the win.
That's your winner?
Yeah, that's the winner.
Alright, I'm going to say this is the winner. The pork with honey mustard glaze. Wow. Well, I'll be happy for you to take that. I'll take this.
I was thinking the same thing just then. You beat me to it. Camp in the dark, and we've got the party lights as well tonight, eh?
Yeah, what do you think about them?
It's definitely a you thing.
It's nice luminosity.
When you worked out how to turn them on. So the roof conversion over the swag, what's your thoughts, Ronny?
It's definitely colder in a roof conversion. However, it's so much easier to set up.
Yeah.
But I do like a swag too. I'm torn between both, to be honest.
Yeah, I can definitely see the setup. The simplicity is good.
Yeah, the swag's nice and warm on the ground though. Put it right next to the fire.
Yeah.
As promised from the beginning, I mentioned I was going to give you details on the 3-inch lifts I put in the vehicle. The kit I really wanted cost 4 times the amount that I've spent on the Troopy. It looks like it's on an 8-inch lift, and that's only because it was sagging on the stock suspension. The rear leaf packs were almost inverted. It was really squatting bad. It was driving like a bag of potatoes. Now it drives awesome. The suspension kit I put in is not the same as what I put on the 79. I couldn't afford to spend that amount of money on this vehicle. So this is a $5,500 kit with a brake booster as well, because I need to be able to stop this vehicle a lot better. I went to SWAT in Joondalup and they helped fit me in before my trip. I've got the front radius arms just to bring the diff in the proper position rather than running with the offset bushes. I have bad experience with those, constantly popping in and out. Monotube shocks, that is something that will need to be replaced at some point. I don't have the diff correction, unfortunately. I couldn't afford that. That'll be later on. Got to save some moolah for that, but that's definitely something I want to do. Of course, extended brake lines. The rear leaf packs are Dobinsons. It's a heavy duty pack. We've got the spacer on the actual sway bar. We've kept the sway bar in the back of this Troopy because being so high and on these shocks, definitely going to keep that sway bar in. Drives like a dream compared to before now. This isn't as good a suspension kit as what's on the 79, but for now, this is all I need to get the trip going. So shout out to SWAT for fitting me in just before the trip. Thank you very much, guys.